this is a typical, classical analysis of inventory, right? So we talked about the economic order quantity, and we talked about the optimal cycle length and total cost. And in this lecture, we'll be looking into an additional concept called lead time, right? So in the previous example, I'll quickly run through. Like the demand is 30 units per month, so it is 360 units per year, and the unit cost you see is 50, and holding cost is 25, and then the reorder cost is 75, and we calculate the economic order quantity. And this particular graph, this graph shows the time versus the stock or the replenishment and other details. Like at instant time, like at time 0, we have got 47, which is the economic order quantity, and that gets depleted till it reaches 2 months time. We had our replenishment comes into picture. Then we had the 47 quantities delivered to the site, and it gets sold again, and the cycle continues for a year. This is the basic. And in today's module, we'll be looking into the reorder level. It's a lead time. Say here the reorder level is here. So this is cycle. We can even talk about the cycle optimum cycle length. So at 2 months time. At 2 months time, we will be replenishing it. When at that point also the stock gets depleted completely, then we replenish at that time. Right. Say this is a typical example of replenishment is instantaneous, which means that you don't have to really wait for the new products to arrive. So this is the old stock of 47, and that gets decreased, and at 2 months time it will become 0. Without any further delay, that particular day on the second month, we have got our new stocks of 47 items. But that is not pretty true. That's highly hypothetical. Sometimes you need some buffer time to bring in the stocks. So you cannot afford to wait after 2 months to get the stock for another 1 week's time or delay in time, something like that. So then the entire inventory management will not be a great useful thing. So what we generally do is we will be within this framework, like this 2 months, from this 2 months time, first 2 months time, we'll be looking into a point when which you can go for reorder, so that at that point, when it becomes 0, the reorder is instantaneous. I mean the quantity is instantaneous, as simple as that. So I repeat, in this case, the resources gets depleted. At month 2, it is 0, and then the replenishment, the new stock comes in at that second month without any delay, and the cycle continues for years time. Right. But we know that in real practice, if you want to get a new stock, it has to come from a factory or a retail showroom. Then there is some time associated with that. So say your shop is some X location, so the finished product has to come to the location from a different place. So that time travel needs to be accommodated, right? So if it is a 1 hour time, it's fine. It's fine. It can replenish that day itself, end of the day itself. But if it takes some 18 hours, 24 hours, or sometimes even 2 days time, or sometimes in 2 weeks time, so those things should be accommodated in this thing. So that at one point you need to fix your ordering process, so that at that time you order, so that the time to reach the order and the 0 depletion is almost same. So you achieve that particular point. So that's what basically it means by reorder level or something like that. So this is reorder level with fixed lead times. So fixed lead times in the sense, like we know that it will come fixed 2 weeks time. But what happens if sometimes it comes by 2 weeks, sometimes it by 3 weeks, and it's not a fixed lead time, it is a variable lead time. So that's a different treatment for that. But at this point, we are reordering it some fixed time, say a 2 weeks time. So we will be doing some by here, like half a month is 2 weeks. So when it's something like that, so it will be something like this particular stock. When it reaches 15, unity reorder, so that when you replenish this for 2 weeks, so the new stock comes in after 2 weeks at that exactly the second month. So that's basic logic, right? So that's what we can achieve in this particular thing, right? So the formula is reorder level, which is RL, which we not considered earlier because we have assumed that the stock is, instantaneous. Stock is replenishment of stock is instantaneous. Right, only that. And in this case, we have something called reorder level, which means that the same problem, we take the same problem, but instead of the stock being replenished without any delay, we have something called lead time. So 2 weeks time. Say the manufacturer or the person who sells, uh, the item to reach your location or something like that is 2 weeks time. So that's what basically means is 2 weeks, right? So as I told you in the previous class, you can keep all units at unison. Like for example, if you keep this in years, you keep all other things also in years. Holding cost in years, and then this 2 weeks in terms of years is 2 by 52. So 52 weeks in a year. So it's 2 by 52, and that's per annum. Or if you want to keep it in terms of month, you can pretty well keep this in terms of month, and this is also in terms of something, right? So that's basically a very important thing you should really know. So economic order quantity, it's Q naught, which is equals to root of 2 times reorder cost multiplied by the demand divided by the holding cost. So that comes up to 47. So this is probably the same because this does not have any component related to LT, lead time, right? So in both the case, without lead time and with the lead time, so the economic order quantity is 47. The formula remains the same, it's 47. The next item is uh, a reorder level. So at what point you need to reorder? So that's basically a very important question. Like which point of this graph, the sloping graph, you need to reorder or you need to place an order. Sometimes a pretty good example is the Amazon delivery. They have 1 day delivery for Prime members and some standard delivery like 3 to 7 days for the non-Prime members, something like that. So that's basically a point of reordering or ordering. In fact, reordering is like you run the business throughout the year, so you need to replenish the order once it's over. As simple as that. Right. So the Prime member, they can give it in 1 day. They get it the items in 1 day, probably, right? So that's the advantage of being a Prime member. But for Prime, you need to pay them extra money, right? So the membership cost is there. So if you pay additional cost, it comes on or without the additional Prime membership, you can still order with the standard shipping or shipping tax. So that's what basically it means. But here we need to ship. We need to reorder at certain point. Or another example, if you want an item by 5 days or by 3 days, we really look into the other aspects also. So that's what basically it means by reorder, right? So the reorder level or this RL equals to lead time multiplied by the demand. So the lead time we have seen it is 2 weeks, which is 2 divided by 52 in terms of annum. And demand is 360 items. So which means that when you multiply 360 by into 2 divided by 52, it's 13.85. Items cannot be in a continuous variable, so we will be shifting that to a nearest decimal place, which is 14 units, right? So which means that, so here is the the graph. You can take a look at here. The economic order quantity is 47 items, and then the cycle time is 2 months time. So the cycle time starts in every 2 months time. Then this is very interesting. Like there's a dotted blue color line. So that is what basically means by reorder level. So LT or RL, lead time, or lead time is this 2 weeks time. So I'll tell you what exactly that means. So when the stock decreases like 47, 40, 6, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, and 20. And when you reaches 14, which is our RL, reorder level, which is reaches 14 units, that corresponds to 2 weeks time. You can see this is month. So half a month is 15 days or 2 weeks time, probably. So that is the lead time. So here to here is the lead time. So that's a time which you need to order, or at this point you have to order, so that when the stock continuously continuously decreases, so your order comes at that point of time, so which means you will run the business without any difficulty or interruption. So that's what basically this reorder level, and this is the economic order quantity. So this is a typical example of having a reorder level with fixed lead times. Then it's very important. It's called inventory control or production system, right? Say, so far we talked about, the consumptions, like how seller sells and what are the implications of the products and its selling, the rate of selling or something like that. But here it is production. Production as other entity, which means that when the production is higher than the demand, you have some materials in hold, which means that you produce more than what's actually demanded. So some stocks will be left alone in the market or in the factory itself without being sold. But if the production is less than the demand, you don't meet the demand, so your product is always a deficit. So pretty good example is like the diamond is very rare entity, and if you want to say in terms of production of diamond jewelry, it's not as very big. So even though it has a good demand, it is limited. That's why diamond is valued more. But silver, the production is pretty uh, nominal, so that the price is also is very less, like because the demand is lesser than the supply of the silverware or silver jewelry or something like that. So that's one important. So this is basic rough idea. So in production, if you sell more than or if you produce more than what you could sell, then there's something called a shortage happens, or the stockage of items happens. Then that product gets stagnant in your market or in your factory for quite a long time. Then you need to find out other mechanism of giving discount or something for the product to sell. A typical example is the clearance sales. Like in a textile industry, uh, a month were considered to be non-auspicious month for some people. So they don't buy, fabrics or garments during that point of time. So it will be very difficult for the people who run the textile industry or business that particular period. Instead, they come forward and give some discount, like 20%, 30%. So that to attract the market, so that at some point of time, the sales of the textiles and fabric shirts, garments are pretty high during those period, because people tend to buy items which is considered to be nominal in a discounted price. So that's those things are called adjustment to the productions, or when the production is high, when the stocks gets stored or something like that, because they need to pay huge money for the rent, right? The stock cages, if they don't sell it within the due course of time, the stocks gets piled up, and then it'll become a headache, or it'll become a loss even for a particular company or something. So that's what basically it means by production. Right? So in this case, the movement of stock, it is called capital P, and the replenishment is not instantaneous. Say when the replenishment is instantaneous, we generally get stocks gets moved and something like that. But in this case, the stock gets moved at a finite rate of P. If the production capital P is less than the rate of demand, then there is no holding the stock. right? So you produce less than the demanded, then you can continuously producing it to satisfy the quantum of demand. But if your production is greater than the rate of demand, this means you produce huge items than it is actually needed, then the stocks piles up at the rate of P minus T. So this is right. So a factor called a production rate comes into picture when it's P divided by P minus T. So we'll take a look at that in a greater detail. So that's what basically an inventory model and a production model. In an inventory model, you'll be looking into the selling of items, and you talk about reserve, quantity, and then you talk about how do you, replenish your thing, and then we talked about the reorder level. But in a production model, we look into how, uh, you know, the factor of production as well, like P divided by P minus T. So that's also very important, right? The same formula, but we have got an extra factor called root of P divided by P minus T. So this is a very interesting. So that gets incorporated in all the classical inventory model. Like Q naught is the economic order quantity, T naught is the optimum cycle time, and TC naught is the total cost. And this is a variable cost, which is a factor of total cost, which is the unit cost multiplied by demand plus variable cost. And then in all the other things, in Q naught, this same formula multiplied by root of P by P minus D. Then in T naught also the same formula with the factor multiplied by root of P minus P divided by P minus D. And in variable cost, we have got root of 2 into reorder cost and holding cost into demand. And here is the same factor multiplied by this factor, P, root of P divided by P minus T. So we'll take a look at this because production model is a very interesting thing, which you should know as the person involved in engineering, especially mechanical engineering or production sector. So this is the important problem. So we'll take a look at that in detail. So the demand for an item is 600 units per month, right? So an item is demanded of 600 quantities per month. Remember, this is not yearly; it is per month. The relevant costs are estimated as follows: like the cost associated with that. So the rate of production, which is capital P, which is 1,500 units a month, right? So you can take a look at this. The production is pretty much heavier when compared to the items demanded per. Then unit cost UC is rupees 50 and production setup cost is 75 an order, shop order preparation of 60 an order, and scheduling of shop order at 15 an order. All these things are reorder cost. Right? So how do you establish the new stocks or something like that? So that's what basically it means by reorder cost, which is the sum of 75, which is the setup cost and shop order preparation and scheduling of shop order and something like that. So 75 plus 60 plus 15 is rupees 150 per order. So that's what basically the reorder cost. Then storage space. So far we have not considered the storage anywhere. Like we talked about holding cost of the items, but it is and stock wise, but we not talk about storage wise or something like that, because we don't store it because this is instantaneous. The replenishments are instantaneous. Whereas in this case, we'll be looking into the storage cost and handling cost. So handling that particular deficit or storage is this thing. So the total holding cost is HC, just rupees 5 plus rupees 7. So that's rupees 5 plus rupees 7. So this rupees 12 per unit per annum. Then first thing what we can do is we can find the factor which is root of P divided by P minus T. So it's root of this thing P, which is nothing but 18,000 units per year. So this is we make everything in terms of year or per annum, divided by 18,000 minus 7,200, which is the demand, which is 600 into 12. So the factor is 1.29. When you take a square root of this, thing, it is 1.29. So economic order quantity is 2 multiplied by any order cost multiplied by demand divided by holding cost into the factor 1.29. So which is nothing but 547.30, or approximately it is 548. Remember, it is 547.30. So we do not round up to 547. The reason is that it is not a simple number, but it's a stock, how much stock you require. Say if you put it 547, one stock makes a huge difference in the production sector. So generally we, even if it is 5.01 or 05, we just 547.05, we will approximate it to nearest quantity, which is 548. Then optimum cycle time is 1 month. So which means that this is the formula, reorder cost of the holding cost multiplied by the demand into the factor of 1.29. So it is like 0.072 per annum multiplied by 12, which gives 0.912 months, and is approximately 1 month. Right. So you cannot have 0.9 month, but you take it the nearest 1 month. Right. And variable cost is given here, and total, once you find variable cost, total cost is unit cost multiplied by demand plus variable cost. So it is something like 3,66,568 per annum. So here is the interesting thing, right? We have got this, this thing. This is stock or the quantity. It is 548, right? So that's why it is not 550. It's just like simple. So here the division is 50 units. So 2 units may not looks very comprehensive or very lucid, but 548 is the economic order quantity. Then what you do is cycle time. So the cycle time is 1 month. At 1 month, so this is our cycle time. So 1 month, half a month, like it is like 2 weeks time. You can even take a look at this 2 weeks time. At 2 weeks time, the stocks gets completely exhausted, which is the production. This is the production, something like that. Then at that point, the production equals to the demand. Then you probably shoot it again, and it goes on and on. So this is how the production model works. In an inventory, we'll be looking into only selling of the items. In a production sector, we'll be looking into the replenishment as well as the production of that particular items as well. So the graph was something like this. Right. So far we talked about deterministic units, like for example, this being deterministic time and deterministic cycle length, deterministic stocks. What happens when we consider the probabilistic demand? Say the demand is not pretty much certain, it's just like uncertain or probability. Then we look into something called safety stock. It's called SAS. Say, like for example, you guys will prepare for examination, right? So what you generally guys do is study all the module. But if you don't have time, you have a back-to-back exams and you waste a lot of time earlier, then you will be looking into some important chapters. You'll be focusing on that. So those are called safety stock. So which means that you concentrate at least that, because you're not pretty sure like the question paper, what comes in the question paper. You only get to know only during examination. Right. So something you study to a greater extent. This is very true in case of the competitive exams also. Like the people who go all in their ranking pretty high, they tend to master all the concepts. But sometimes some people like experts, they say you focus on few areas where the question will be definite, and you can save a lot of time for other questions which you are not practiced or which looks very difficult in the exam or something like that. So those things are called safety stock or safety or buffer stock, you can call buffer stock or something like that. In critical path method, we also focus that as the contingency, built-in contingency, or a float time, right? So something like that. So the reorder level here for a probabilistic demand. Remember, we'll be mentioning the probabilistic demand explicitly in question paper when we need to work on probabilistic demand. Otherwise, it's deterministic. I repeat, kindly do problems using deterministic approach only if the question has got deterministic demand and stated as explicitly. Otherwise, it is just the deterministic demand. Do not look into the probabilistic demand or safety stock or something. So lead time demand plus the safety stock is the lead reorder level. So lead time into the demand is the lead time demand plus the safety stock and some data. So in this case, in the safety stock, we'll be looking into the concepts of probability, especially the normal distribution, the Z table, normal distribution table. Safety stock, how do we define the safety stock? It is not a deterministic thing. We know it's a probabilistic demand. Say what we do is we take Z times the standard deviation of the lead time demand. So LTD, lead time demand. Say the standard deviation of that will be multiplied by Z, which is the normal distribution value. So that will be our safety stock. So which means that this gives a clear picture of our lead time demand. So based on our lead time demand and its probability or its standard deviation, how far it gets varied. So once you learn the standard deviation of different lead time distribution, you probably know the highest to the lowest and how far individual entity or individual point of LTD varies from there. So that's the comprehensive concept. And multiplied by Z will give us the safety stock, right? And then lead time demand can be multiplied by the standard deviation multiplied by root of LT or the lead time, something like that. So this is the formula. So you should really keep this in mind during examination, how to find safety stock is. Z times standard deviation of LTD, which is nothing but Z times standard deviation multiplied root of LT. Say the same problem. In this case, we will be explicitly mentioning at something related to probability, like 95% confidence level. Unless otherwise asked, you have to do by deterministic method. Right. So I repeat the problem. The standard deviation of an item is normally distributed. Say this is one key that this is not a deterministic demand, a probability, a demand associated with some probability. With a mean of 30 units, which means that here D is a mean standard deviation. It's not, mean units, not deterministic units. Say in the previous example, we talked about 300, 600, all these things are deterministic. So it will be sold 600 units per month. But here it is a mean. Sometimes some month it may have more, some month it may have less. So it's an average demand, right? So that is 30 units per month. And then it has a standard deviation of 5. So this is sigma equals to 5. Then all the other things are same. You see unit cost is 50 and reorder cost is 75 and holding cost is 25 per unit per annum. And you can see here the lead time is given here. So in the previous case here, in this case, we have found out RL like 14 units. So we don't yeah, here it is lead time is 2 weeks. So it's given by the the person who formulated this problem, right? From that we found it reorder level. So this level, right? This level. So as simple as that. So those concepts are pretty same in probabilistic demand as well. We have got lead time in 2 weeks, so we divide by 52, so we get per annum. So economic order quantity is almost same. You can see EOQ formula is almost same unless otherwise for production sector. Then for 95% confidence level, the Z value is 1.64, right? So the Z value is 1.64. This is from the normal distribution table. We will give normal distribution table in exam if any probabilistic demand is asked or inventory problem associated with probabilistic demand. They are sometimes you need to memorize few values of Z, like for example, Z values for 95% confidence interval, and then will be 98% confidence interval and something like that. So you should remember that it's for 95% is equals to 1.64. For 98% confidence interval Z equals to 1.88, something like that. So those two values you can remember unless otherwise asked, or we will give you a normal distribution table and you can very well take the values for that, right, in case you don't want to remember or memorize. So safety stock equals to Z times standard deviation is already given, which is 5 multiplied by root of LT. So we know what is LT, which is 2 over 52. We take the root of that. So in this case, it is 1.618 or 2 units. So which means that safety stock for this problem is 2 units. So which means that we cannot go beyond 2 units or replenish it completely. So as simple as that. Here the formula of lead time is a little different. So in a deterministic demand, the reorder level is LT multiplied by D, right? So lead time multiplied by D. Whereas in a non-deterministic or probabilistic demand, it is reorder equals to LT into D plus the safety stock. So plus the safety stock. So which means that 2 over 52 multiplied by 360, which is the demand, probably average demand, plus the safety stock 2, which is equal to 16 units, right? Say how far this looks like this. We know the economic outer quantity is 47 and safety buffer is 2 units. And then the reorder level is 16. I think it's not 14. I made a mistake here. It is 16 units. So at 16, probably somewhere here, it'll be here. And that will be our, this point will be our reorder. So I think I've copied the same graph of this. Yeah, so this 14 nodes is actually distribution 16. Sorry for the mistake. It should be 16 here. And then the point 2 weeks time will be intersecting here. And that will be the reorder one, right? So the reason you can see pretty well is that even though it's a mistake, you can pretty well understand from here. From the previous problem, we don't have any safety stock. So this can go till the 2 weeks time, I mean 2 months time. So the replenishment can go till 2 months time. Whereas safety buffer, you cannot take that buffer. So that should be there. It's just like a contingency. You might leave the contingency based on the requirement, or sometimes you might take up the stock from the safety buffer also. So that's why we have something called safety buffer here. So once you move 0 to 2, I think it has moved 14 to 16. So that's a basic understanding or analogy. I'll just correct this particular graph and I'll upload it again. So this is a very interesting thing that you should really know in terms of inventory management.